Welcome to TSG's Director's Cut. I'm Kelly Walcott, Director of Judges.
And I'm Brenda Hogsett, Director of Player Experience. One of the most incredible parts of the Skin Games is the people and the professional journeys that brought them here.
We're sitting down with the movers, shakers, educators, and innovators in our industry to hear their stories behind their work and learn more about their who, what, and why. Today, we're joined by Dominique Brandt, a master esthetician instructor, Sedesco diploma holder, NCEA certified professional, and NIC subject matter expert. Dominique is also an Air Force veteran, former corporate professional, educator, coach, and the 2022-23 Skin Games Esthetician of the Year. She's also a contributing author to Milady Standard Aesthetics Fundamentals 13th edition.
After building Brave Skin Remedy and developing a specialty in mature skin and DPN, Dominique is now living in Germany and helping estheticians strengthen their skills, businesses, and professional decision-making through consulting and coaching. Dominique, welcome to TSG Director's Cut.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you, Brenda and Kelly.
Oh,
We're so
lovely to
glad
see
you're
you too,
here.
Yes. So you had an entire professional life before aesthetics, including serving in the Air Force and working in the corporate world. Take us back to that chapter. Who was Dominique before she became an esthetician?
Right out of high school, I knew that I wanted to not stay in the city that I was in. I knew I had ambition, but I wasn't necessarily ready to figure out what that was. I wasn't ready to go to college, but I had that ambition to move forward. And it was always in the back of my mind since I was a child that I wanted to own a business. So that's been like this core idea. Throughout high school, throughout being in the Air Force, and then later getting out when I was working corporate. I remember sitting back and watching this incredible group of women that I was learning from and working from. And I was seeing all the work we were doing, and all I could think about was, man, we could be running our own business. But here we are running somebody else's business. So I would say who I was before becoming an esthetician was an aspiring business owner.
I love
Wow.
that. I kind of had the same thing. I just always wanted to own my own business too. I think that's something that burns inside a lot of us who are
Yes.
in this industry. Was there one defining moment when aesthetics stopped feeling like an interest and started feeling like the direction your career would needed to take?
Yes. So I spent 9 months in aesthetic school doing the esthetician program and then directly going into the master's aesthetics program. And 2 months before graduating the master aesthetics, it came to unfortunate circumstances that I needed a mandatory major surgery on my arm and my wrist. And so I thought to myself, okay, maybe this isn't for me. I probably should start looking for jobs. I interviewed at a corporate job. I got through the first stage of the interview and I got a call back. They were really excited. They wanted me to come back to do an interview with their CEO. I agreed. The morning of, everything in my body and my mind said, don't go.
Oh, wow.
And I sent an email. They were very disappointed, very upset that I wasted the CEO's time that morning. But it was the right decision. And it was then that I was for sure that I knew that this wasn't an interest, that this wasn't a waste of time, that this is the direction I wanted to go into.
You just knew and you listened to your body, you listened to yourself, and you executed. And not a lot of people have that ability. I just want to commend you for that
Hmm.
you did it anyway because you listened to yourself. You listened to your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
I've always said not listening to that inner consciousness has always ended badly for me.
Yeah.
So it just never works out.
Right. So, as you developed your practice, you became especially known for working with mature skin and treating DPN, particularly for Black and brown women. What led you to recognize that this was an area where you wanted to develop deeper expertise?
Hmm. When I was working for other spas before I opened Brave Skin Remedy, I was paying attention to the clientele and the demographic that were attracted to me. It didn't make sense for
Hmm.
me to, you know, leading up to knowing I wanted to own my business, it didn't make sense for me to try to catch the attention of those that were not paying attention to me. Um, but the ones who were specifically other professionals. And I think because of my military and corporate background, they could see themselves and see the way that I looked at aesthetics in a professional manner. And so creating Brave Skin Remedy, my mindset was, okay, I'm going to be a mature skin specialist. Once my website was up and I started getting on social media, what ultimately happened was my clientele chose me, and that was the Black and Brown community. And so
Hmm.
once, those clients started coming in, I knew that I had to focus in that space and learn everything that I could. And that's how I came to that being my specialty.
I think the clientele directs where your practice can
Hmm.
go at times because the people that need to find you always will.
Hmm.
You've described yourself as someone who is passionate about process improvement and helping estheticians think critically about their treatments. Where did that focus come from?
Hmm. I think there's a little bit of nature and nurture in that. Naturally, I've always been an observer. I like to sit back, I like to watch because I knew my mind was always in that business space. I always pay attention how business is being done. And so, and even working in the military and working in corporate, I was always in this analysis phase. Um, Looking at things from a critical point, especially in the military, you got to be careful about the decisions you make because one decision can affect another. So I didn't see it any different when I was in school. The difference between using an AHA versus a BHA and the skin type that you use it on, it all matters, and we have to critically think about that before putting anything on the skin. So I think a little bit of nature in the way that my mind is set and nurtured through school and learning and also watching the other estheticians around me.
Mhm.
It kind of just came into fruition that critical thinking is a part of me and what I expect from others.
It's thinking about what you're putting on the skin, not just now, but 3 steps from now, because
Right.
it all impacts
Hmm.
and compounds. So,
Yes. Yeah.
The whole process. So you eventually moved from working directly with clients into teaching and mentoring other estheticians. What
Mhm.
did becoming an instructor reveal to you about the needs of professionals entering or advancing within this industry?
Brenda, I had to think a lot about this question. And
Hmm.
what I ultimately came back around to was something I said in my course, How to Prepare a Winning Case Study, is that
Hmm.
estheticians, when we are working and when we are buying products and we are in front of that rep deciding if we want to buy into their system, we as estheticians have to stop thinking like a consumer and think like a professional. And
oh,
that that's
wow.
what I see is needed. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, as an expertise. Yeah, we need to start thinking as the expert that we are and
right,
not like second guess ourselves or feel a type of way because we did go to school. We did
right.
get our licenses. We have a certain authority. And
Hmm.
so that going from authority to going from consumer to authority, that makes total
Hmm.
sense. Is that own what we are.
Taking responsibility.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Let's pivot a little bit to the skin games. You
Okay.
competed in age management, holistic, and pigmentation categories and were named Esthetician of the Year during your first year competing. Congratulations. Yay. What was happening in your career when you decided to enter the skin games, and what did you hope the experience would bring?
Hmm. I was in my first year of business. And it was kind of a promise that I made to myself that I would compete in the Skin Games when I was a student. I remember scrolling through Instagram, I saw it, and I was like, wow, that is very interesting. And especially having done Sodesco already, it kind of seemed like it was a similar concept. And so when I started my business, I'm starting my business, right? So it was slow.
Hmm.
And so I had the time and the space to be able to move forward with the promise that I made to myself. And what I really learned from it was to be able to step out of my comfort zone. And that was something that I really needed at that stage because stepping out of your comfort zone is what's going to help you grow. And I needed growth beyond what I had already known from just working, at other spas and what I had learned at school. And it was time for me to grow, push myself, challenge myself, and be brave.
It seems to be a common theme in your life if you really think about yourself. If
Brave.
you really think about it, you've had what, one, two, three, four careers. You're a veteran.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
service is one, corporate
Right.
is another, working for others in spas is another one, and business owner.
Yes.
So, wow.
Yeah.
And now, like, you're going for your master's. So yeah, you're
Mhm.
a chameleon, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's all centered around the same. It's all the facets of what we're doing in the aesthetics world.
I agree. Yeah.
You have said that competing forces an esthetician to step outside their comfort zone and assess their planning, interpersonal, and critical thinking skills. What did the competition show you about yourself that you may not have discovered otherwise?
What the competition showed me about myself that I would not have learned otherwise is that
Mhm.
I'm braver than I think I was, right? And
Yeah.
that, this question kind of digs into my personal life and upbringing,
Right.
not
Mhm.
just career-wise. And
Okay.
I didn't grow up necessarily being a social butterfly at all. Always been kind of the weird one. Always hung out with very diverse groups, very comfortable being alone by myself and my own thoughts, very
Hmm.
comfortable just sitting back and observing. I don't need or want the attention. And even
Right.
winning Esthetician of the Year, there was a level of discomfort because all eyes were on me. And it's just
Right.
not something that I was used to or was
Hmm.
sure that I wanted. And so I
Right.
think that's why after I won, I wanted to channel all of that attention back into the other estheticians who are watching by giving
Mm.
them something.
Mm.
Not to just watch me, to
Right.
just say, wow, she did a great job, but to watch me and then say, okay, what can I take away from
Right.
her win? And I think that's
Mm.
probably why I went in the direction of the coaching. And
Yeah.
luckily, I had some push and some help from others who encouraged me to do that and asked me to do that. And so
Hmm.
all of this just taught me that there's just always something on the other side that
Yeah.
you either plan for or didn't plan for. But as long as you move forward, you challenge yourself, something great's going to come out of it. Yeah.
And it always
Love
does. It
that. Hmm.
100% always does. And it's interesting you use the word brave because you named your
Hmm.
business Brave
Yeah.
Skin Remedy.
Hmm.
And you you just are. Winning Esthetician of the Year could easily have been treated as the end of the story, but
Mm.
you turned that experience into education, coaching, and support for future players. Why is it important for you to take what you learned and build something that could help other estheticians compete more intentionally?
I think my mindset for having won esthetician of the year, again, winning can just stop with me, or I can help others win too. I always look at what I give is also what I would have wanted.
Mm,
And we as a community don't grow stronger if those who win don't share. And
Hmm.
I want to be proud of my industry, not just of myself. And so by me sharing my wins with others and how I did it, why I did it, and what they can take away from it, it only makes our industry stronger, which makes me in turn again stronger. So yeah, that's why it was important for me to share and
Hmm.
Yeah. And sharing's caring. You know what I
share and
mean? Like,
caring. And that's what we do. We care for others. So
Hmm.
one big old
yeah,
ecosystem.
and not gatekeep, what
Brandon,
waxes they're using.
that topic in and of itself could be a whole podcast. That is, I have so many thoughts about that. I have so
Hmm.
many.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying for your
Hmm.
for but the way you took it to share, it was like you weren't gatekeeping. And that's
Right.
how that what I saw that was like, oh, she's the real deal. Because some people say they are this way when they're actually not. You know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
Some
walk your
people
walk.
claim to be, you walk the walk. So Dominique, you walk the walk. Absolutely.
Thank
And thank you
you.
for being
Thank you.
such a huge part in our industry, especially as a huge part in the skin games and then helping others like myself. Thank you for not gatekeeping and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us
Absolutely.
professionals to be successful as well. So with that said, we're going to pivot from the skin
Sure.
games.
Mhm.
You are now living in Germany and working as a consultant and coach for estheticians. What prompted this new chapter, and how has living abroad changed your perspective on the beauty and wellness industry?
Mhm. I think as you've heard throughout this interview that I'm not um, foreign from blowing up my life and starting over again. This was just another bomb I needed to drop for myself. And again, doing the things that I promised myself that I would do a long time ago and moving to Germany and seeing what that experience would be like. I was born here. My mother is from here. I'm a dual citizen. So I always was curious, what would it have been like if I lived here, or what would it be like if I can do that in the future? So I'm very, very grateful that I still have the connections in America with the Skin Games, for example, and other well-known skin brands that still trust me to work with them. And what I have noticed from the skincare industry here, I go into all the apothekas, which essentially is the pharmacies where they have
Mm-hmm.
pharmacies for skincare. It's pretty cool. And then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, there's a diverse group of people here, even in Europe, even in Germany. And
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
so treating skin of color is always going to be needed, no matter where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Your career has moved through the military, corporate business, treatment room practice, education, competition, and now consulting and master's student. When you look at that full professional arc, what is the common thread connecting all of those roles?
The connecting thread is ambition. And maybe a long time ago, that would have felt a bit uncomfortable for me to say, but at this stage now, being able to look back,
Mhm.
ambition and bravery.
Mm-hmm.
And again, bravery is really doing something you're scared to do. Being scared, but doing it anyways. And that's been the connecting arc through my life and my career.
It's
Love
very
that.
seen, and
Yeah,
never
just do it.
never apologize for wanting to be better
Mm-mm.
and having dreams. Never
Right? Right.
apologize.
No, yeah.
All right, Dominique, what is one lesson you wish you had understood earlier in your aesthetics career?
One lesson I wish I would have respected is that time will go by. We get out of school, and the first thing we're thinking is, oh my gosh, I'm just starting. You're looking at other estheticians. They've been 10 years and 8 years and 5 years and 20 years, and time is going to fly by. And just sit back and let it just happen.
Oh, I love that. Finish this sentence for us. The skin games became part of my professional story because.
The Skin Games became part of my professional story because I needed to push my comfort level. I needed to get out of my own comfort in order for me to grow. And my growth has spread across um, other estheticians and helping them grow as well. So my growth leveled up other estheticians and their growth. So that was, I guess, all part of the bigger plan of being in Skin Games.
I love
And
that.
now you can say across multiple continents, Dominique.
Yes, yes, very fancy.
Do you see that?
A
You
true
see that?
Tedesco
Huh?
diploma
You like?
holder.
Where can listeners connect with you, learn from you, or find
Mhm.
out more about your coaching and educational resources?
Yes, so currently I am blowing everything up, including my website and restructuring it. So if you go to braveskinremedy.com, it will be back up soon. And this is where you'll find my biography and all of the resources that I have, the coaching and any other opportunities, for example, to work with me. So braveskinremedy.com.
All right. And then any socials, Facebook or Instagram or TikTok?
Brenda, you know you have not seen me on social media in over a year. I can't I can't make any promises on that.
Okay.
Are
So
your
your
courses
website.
are your courses still available?
So if you're interested in working with me for the Skin Games, so I do have How to Prepare a Winning Case Study by an Esthetician of the Year. That platform has moved to Notion. And so if you're interested, just contact me via email at this point. So Dominic at braveskinremedy.com, DOMINIQUE at braveskinremedy.com. You can also reach out to Pro Cell Therapies if you are competing in the Skin Games and they are a sponsor of yours or a tool that you are already using and you're going to compete in the Skin Games. I will be the coach again for Pro Cell Therapies, and from there you can join the competition crew.
I love that. Thank you so much for
Love
joining
it.
us and giving us a look at the professional journey behind your titles and your experience. And it's just been such a pleasure personally to know you. Even when you first came into our world, even Seth said, "Who is that?" Because he just knew. He knew.
Nice. Thank you so much, Kelly. But you're
Love
always
it.
present. I love working with you, and I love your passion for the Skin Games. Brenda, thank you so much.
She's
I'm so
amazing.
pleased to have worked with you for the competition, and I'm really excited to see you in this space, and I can't wait to see more from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, Dominique. We appreciate your time. This has been TSG's Director's Cut.
All right, ladies. Love you all. I have to go.
Okay.
Toodles. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
All righty. Are we all ready? Let's get loosey goosey.
Ready,
Okay.
ready.
All
Get my
right.
last kissy out.
That might make it at the end.